This is Smoking Out the Closet. Now, here are your hosts.
Hey there, Pittsburgh.
It's that time of year again.
Smoking Out the Closet is going to be sponsored.
I can edit it. Just we can restart.
Hey there, Pittsburgh.
It's that time of year again.
Smoking Out the Closet is going to be sponsoring the Pittsburgh Cannabis Festival for the third year in a row.
The Pittsburgh Cannabis Festival is a wonderful event where people come together to enjoy everything about cannabis.
Representatives from cannabis companies, local glass shops, hemp-based companies, and many more will be there.
Don't forget live music and local food trucks as well.
The Pittsburgh Cannabis Festival will be at the Allegheny Commons Park, August 11th from noon to 5 p.m.
Come join the festivities for the fourth year in a row. Hi, I'm Rayven. I use she, her pronouns.
Hi, I'm Asmodeus. I use they, them pronouns.
And welcome back to another episode of Smoking Out the Closet. For those of you who are new or just joining us, we are a queer podcast.
Unintended.
Talks about cannabis,
The LGBT community,
and everything in between.
and beyond.
So welcome.
Welcome.
So first and foremost, before we start the actual episode, I want to apologize for missing the last episode. While we're continuing this 2-week upload schedule as of right now, we just got back from Maryland, and our work schedules before this trip was very crazy. And so crazy, actually, in fact, that we had one day to record, allowed between our schedules to record the last episode, and I ended up getting really sick that day. So I want to apologize for that. I know I know I can't control being sick, but I want to apologize for the inconvenience and for anybody who was looking forward to an episode, and we just didn't really do much for it. But we took a trip to Maryland.
Yeah.
And we got some weed there, went camping for our wedding anniversary. And so it was a fun time. So we're going to talk about that trip in a little bit. But I want to review the pre-roll that we got down there. This was my pick this go around, I think, right?
Yeah.
So, I couldn't remember. So I just decided one of us is going to pick. Anyway. So this is the Lucky Orchard by Happy J, or Happy J's? Happy J, which is from the Evermore Company in Maryland, and it has 27.75% THCA, 0.98% THC. Highest terpene is limonene at 0.713, which is really high.
Yeah.
Next highest looks like is linalool at 0.567 and beta-myrcene at 0.463. What did you feel about this guy?
I actually really liked it. They were nice little cones. They were half-gram joints apiece. Tasted good.
Mm-hmm.
Smelled nice. Smoked well. And I like the effects on it. Like, I don't feel like it lasted super long, but like they were nice. I still feel pretty calm. I have a little bit of a dry mouth, but
Yeah, no, I get that. I will agree. It was really nice, very smooth. I definitely feel the anti-anxiety effect of it with that limonene and linalool combination there it has, and
Yeah.
the caryophyllene boost. A little bit, it's taking the edge off the pain that I was experiencing because moving everything in, packing everything, putting it in a car, taking it out of a car, unpacking it,
putting up the tent, and then packing everything
Yeah.
in, and then putting it all back in the car, and moving it back in the house.
I gave it a 4.5. Now the effects and everything were the great products. Where it lacked for me, I mean, the price wasn't bad. It's like $18 before tax, which I think is like 9% state tax for Maryland. It's a 6% state tax for Maryland across the board.
Mhm.
But they give an extra 3 like alcohol. Apparently, I think is what we found.
I think so.
The packaging is where it lacked. These two joints kind of fit in like a tube style, almost like a mini M&M's tube,
Yeah.
kind of.
But this
And
has a screw-on cap.
yeah, it has a screw-on cap, which is fine. It's a great seal and everything. You got to push down to open it, which is not where I'm knocking points. It's the fact that when you try to open it and get them out, they get stuck.
Yeah,
Like
and you
real easy.
ended up bending one of them.
Yes, both of them actually.
Both of them?
Yeah, they both got bent, and I realized that also another thing I'm taking points off of was for the filter wasn't there was a bit of space between the weed and the filter. Like it wasn't like it had headspace if you're like looking at like a vape almost.
Yeah.
And I get that's a weight thing, but I rather see it a little more closer to the actual filter personally, just so it doesn't have that wiggle.
Yeah.
Because you end up losing more weed when you try to flick it.
Yeah.
So other than that, it burned mostly evenly. I mean, for a pre-roll, I'm not gonna dock points on that because it was actually pretty consistent. I only had to relight it twice.
I don't think mine went out. Maybe once.
Yeah, but you know, you're a lot faster of a smoker than I am too.
Yeah.
I try to like let it like I cigar it almost. I feel like when I smoke joints, I like inhale, let it sit in my mouth, you know, for a minute, and kind of just like, experience it as a whole, you know.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying that's like the way you were doing it
No,
wrong or anything.
I definitely was. I have used weed to stop smoking cigarettes,
Mm-hmm.
so I kind of sometimes will smoke a joint like I used to smoke a cigarette.
Exactly.
You can definitely tell I smoked cigarettes for a while.
Okay. I was a little worried. I didn't want you to think I was like
No,
dogging on the way you smoke.
No, I was just like, yes, we do smoke that very differently. And then when you were describing that, I was like, yeah, no, I smoke them like I smoke cigarettes.
Mm-hmm. Did you give your rating? I don't remember.
No, we didn't do ratings yet.
I just did my rating of 4 out of 5.
I'm doing a 4 out of 5 as well.
Okay. What was holding it back? I'm curious. I'm a little high, so I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I don't know. I just now, especially thinking of like it didn't the effects didn't last super long for me, but I did like the flavor. It was nice. The effects were really nice. They seem pretty strong for like what I've had, better than like PA stuff. I don't know. I like a longer joint.
Yeah.
And also I saw you struggling with the container too.
Yeah.
And I was like, why do they not why for a 2-pack? You got that and I was like, you said, "Oh yeah, there's 2 in here." And I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
Why?
It's weird because it's the exact same style that like that 0.7 gram joint that I haven't opened up yet. Well, no, I opened it, but it's the exact same size container. This makes sense for a 0.75 gram or a full gram
Yeah.
joint
I
pre-roll.
think they might just not have wanted to get different packaging.
But this is the only thing they make. I looked at their website.
the
It's
only
either
thing they
this or
make?
this or like the 5-packs. Well, why don't you just get a 2-pack box?
Right? Doesn't that just make more sense?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't either.
But yeah, it's a good product. It's better than some products in PA. I'll give it that. There's some that I've had from a couple of different brands I still think are a little bit better, to be
Yeah,
honest.
honestly. It is better than the stuff that I've been having recently, except for like one or two things I've had.
I will say, before we get into discussion about Maryland and where, because I want to shout out where we bought the guys from.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I'm stuttering real bad today.
You're fine.
Where was I going with this thought? Oh, we are going to try, hopefully, fingers crossed soon, some Juicy products again.
Nice.
And for everyone that's going, what? Or for those who are new and don't know what we're talking about, we barred Juicy products from the podcast for a hot minute because they were the lowest rated products ever. The last one, which was from the bank, got 0s from us.
Yeah.
But apparently, they got a new head grower at their grow facility. And anything after March, on the date of packaging, you can actually feel it doesn't sound like French bread when you press into it. It's not super squishy, and it's probably not going to be the best product, but it's probably going to be from booth to mids.
Yeah.
But I want to try it to actually give everybody our honest review on it because it does
Nice.
seem like they are listening and they are trying to make a better product.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to try them again, give them another go, you know?
So, you ready to talk about Maryland?
Yes.
Okay. So, where do okay, so we went camping and I'm not going to say what should I say what campground we were at?
Mm,
Nah.
nah.
We went to a campground. Let's just say that. Plausible deniability.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure if what we were doing was 100% kosher smoking weed there, but
But, we didn't get in trouble, so
yeah, so
we were fine.
Um, but we went camping in the northern part of Maryland, northwest part of Maryland, technically in the tri-state area. Like
Yeah.
we were camping literally 20 minutes. Go to Pennsylvania.
We bought groceries. There was no tax on food in Pennsylvania. We drove back to Maryland to go back to our campground.
Well, you could tell when we hit Pennsylvania because the road changed.
Yeah,
Like, really
jumping forward
badly.
a little bit, you don't have to have your eyes open to even tell where the state border is between Maryland and Pennsylvania. It's very apparent. You look and you go, "Oh wait, I can't read that sign, but I bet you it says Welcome to Maryland because that road looks better."
But yeah, so we stopped at Cumberland, Maryland, which was not too far from where we're camping. Um And it's not actually far from where we live in Pittsburgh. It's only like 2.5 hours away.
Yeah,
So if we ever want to go back to Maryland, or if anybody who lives in Maryland wants to see us review a specific product, let us know. We'll probably drive back down probably one day.
yeah,
Because why not? It's a nice little weekend trip or
absolutely.
a day trip. Plus, you guys have Roy Rogers.
I fucking love Roy Rogers.
So we'll probably just go for that.
Absolutely.
Um, so we stop at Skittles of the Week for me. Uh, Grow West Cannabis. Now, Grow West, I don't think they have more than one dispensary or more than one state they operate in. I mean, they have two locations, but I think they're a Maryland only company. I could be wrong, but what I've seen, it looks like Maryland only.
Hmm.
Um, and it is very, very different atmosphere compared to Pennsylvania dispensaries.
Yeah,
Very different. So they have a drive-through, which some, like the one I work at, some dispensaries in PA have drive-throughs, but this drive-through was bumping.
it wrapped around the building.
And so we go inside, and uh, I did the. I guess you could tell I'm a tourist because like they had that little like button with the camera on it. I guess for back when it used to be medical only. And I hit the button and show my state ID, and they're like, "You can come on in. It's
It's
not
not
locked."
locked,
And
and
I'm
I
like,
was like,
"Oh,
yeah, I was
okay."
waiting too, and I was like, "Do they want to see my ID?" And they're like, "No, just come on in."
Um, So it was very apparent. You could tell we're kind of touristy. So we go inside and we're in. We get our shopping done. It's weird. So you go to a person once you get registered and everything. You go to a person and they figure out what you want. They ask you, if you want help or anything. So I tipped that guy $5. They get the order squared away, and then you just wait. You're sitting in this little lobby area, which is the same area where you go grab your weed, and you're just waiting. Which I think is the way a lot of rec state dispensaries might do it, because the videos I've seen on Planet 13, that's what it kind of seems like people are doing.
Hmm.
Um, and then so I'm waiting for our weed to be ready. It looks like they fill it in the vault. And then they have like a little shelf because I kind of saw the hallway when someone opened the door for a split second with like orders ready.
Okay.
Um, and then they have some merch, some like t-shirts, hoodies, and stuff that looked really cool. Some of it was very Maryland themed with like weed.
Cannabis and crab cakes.
Yeah. Which we need to buy one of those shirts.
Yeah, I wanted to buy one of those hoodies, and I was like, I don't know if I would have spent that much to buy a hoodie.
Yeah, that's fair, especially like a crop top hoodie.
Yeah, and I was already spending that much money at the dispensary.
Mm-hmm. So, and then someone else calls you when the order's ready, and you go up, you pay the weed. So I was like, Well, I already tipped the first guy, but I'm gonna feel bad if I don't tip this guy. Because now I don't know if they split tips or they just get their tips. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't have more. Here's a couple bucks. I gave the rest to that first guy. And he goes, no, it's fine. That's very generous of you. I'm like, I'm sorry, I get it. I work in the industry too. I felt so bad. But they're very nice. You had a full on conversation with that same guy before I got my stuff
I
about PA and Maryland
I
stuff.
did. He's really cool.
You want to talk about kind of like that conversation? Like, what you guys discover were like similar or different?
So I did tip him too, and he was like, "Oh, you're very generous." Yeah, I was like, gave him like $3, and we were talking about, oh yeah, when I'm in PA. What were we talking about actually?
I remember you guys talking about like how you work at a dispensary, and you was talking about like how like some of the rules are different between us and them in West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Yeah, or Ohio. He said like West Virginia, Ohio, or either West Virginia or Ohio, like where you can't smoke.
Oh yeah, you're like technically not allowed, like, we're a vaporization only
Mm-hmm.
state technically, and there is like a limit, I guess, to how much you can have in your car. I heard them talking to somebody else.
Yeah, I didn't
I
look
didn't
that up either.
catch that, but yeah, we were talking about, in PA, like, what's your edibles like? Do you guys don't have? And I was like, we don't have these, but we have like what are called trochees, and he just kind of looks at me real confused. I was like, they're like soft lozenges. They're basically gummies, but we can't call them that. And he's like, those rules are weird. I'm like, yeah, it's the Department of Health, but
Yeah,
he's like, oh
but like also
yeah,
like you you could have just looked down and goes, we sell the bits, like the Verano bits,
yeah,
like they're on their menu as a gummy, they're just on our menu as a troche, and it's the same fucking thing. Even though I will argue that they're both made with pectin or pectin,
pectin, yeah,
which technically is more. They're technically more fruit leather squares than than gummies,
yeah. You want
but
to be
it
real
but
technical,
because of that, that's what makes them sublingual, which makes them allowed in PA's medical program.
yeah.
Yay! Dumb science. Bureaucracy at its finest. But um yeah, it was a really cool experience. You could see like before you even check in, you could see like bongs and like pipes and stuff, and they sold like stickers and stuff. And they're right next to like a dollar store, a Save a Lot,
There's a
a Five
Five
Below.
Below.
Poor decisions were probably had in those plus stores, high as a kite by some people.
Yeah.
But no, it was a good time. Um, you get really excited because it was right by a train yard.
Yeah, there's a train yard. You can sit in the parking lot and you can watch all the trains come through. And I think we were getting something at the grocery store, and I heard the train horn go off. I got
Mm-hmm.
real excited.
Do you want to talk about Roy Rogers real fast?
Oh my god, can we?
Okay. Yes. Let's
There's
talk about
no
it.
right being that fucking
No,
good.
right.
So, these chicken sandwiches, holy shit. Juiciest fucking puts KFC to shame, and that's the only thing they do. Like, I thought Wendy's had a good Asiago chicken sandwich. No, Wendy's, step your fucking game up. Meet Roy Rogers.
I honestly shout out to Big Dean's in State College in the Philly area. If you guys have had Big Dean's hot chicken, they're really good. While the Texas Pete chicken you had was not as good flavor wise, it was a so much better chicken quality.
Yeah, that's what blew me away. That quality of that chicken had no right being that good.
Mm.
It was a fast food restaurant.
But they literally treat their chicken like Wendy's treats their burgers. It's fresh, never frozen.
Fresh, never frozen chicken.
Yeah, and but the freaking sides are awesome. They
Their
got
fries are good.
French fries, mashed potatoes and gravy, fruit cups, side
You can get
salad,
baked
coleslaw,
beans.
baked beans.
Fucking their
And
breakfast potatoes too are good. They're
oh,
little like disky potato guys, kind of like wedges, but
yeah, kind of like they're thicker. Was it scallion style?
yeah,
They're fried, but they're like 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters thick. So they're kind of like a thin potato wedge disc.
yeah, they're pretty good.
So good. Just needs more salt. Honestly, for me, it needs
Yeah,
more salt.
throw some salt on them, that'd be better. They did have Heinz ketchup, which I was excited about.
But like we ate there at least once every day of our little trip.
Yeah, we might have went there 3 times.
It was
My
good.
God, it was so good. It had no right being that good. We went there for breakfast this morning,
Yeah.
actually. Their breakfast was really good too. That croissant. No, the crescent. I'm sorry. It was called a crescent.
Crescent, yeah.
The crescent was very good.
But yeah, hey, if anybody, highly doubt it, if anybody from Roy Rogers' corporate area, put one in Pittsburgh,
Please.
please. I don't want to. It's much as we might not want to drive 2.5 hours just for Roy Rogers in one way. We might.
Roy Rogers and a couple joints.
Yeah, we might actually. That might be a good, just, hey, you want to hit up Roy Rogers?
It's just like a weekend thing. And like, hey, you don't work until later or whatever the next day.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That campground we were at was really nice too.
Oh my gosh,
I
it
will
was
say,
so nice.
like a big lake.
So when you were booking the campsite, right? I was a little anxious because it looked like it was pretty booked up. But even with as many people that were there, like a lot of the tent sites were full. It was quiet.
Yeah,
It
and it was spaced pretty well.
yeah. Like you could speak at regular speaking volume and you couldn't really hear anybody else. And
You tell like people like had to really shout for like their kids' attention and actually hear them yelling at their kids, or you can tell when the baby's really mad and tired,
yeah,
and it does that really high pitched squeal. But it wasn't like, "Ow, my ears." It was more, "Oh, that's a mad baby, way over there."
Yeah.
um, and it was really nice. It only rained a little. It was forecasted to rain a lot worse and hail.
yeah, and that never came. And like gusts of wind, so he nailed everything down.
Mm-hmm.
But like that was kind of nice though. The rain on the
Oh,
awning thing we had put up. What was that? It's not an awning. It's a
the canopy.
canopy. There we go.
Do you want to talk about your s'more?
Oh my gosh! So I took a picture of the s'more, and
Which
we're gonna put this on the
upload.
Instagram. Yeah. But I bought edibles while I was there, and there are 10 milligram chocolates, and I took one of those bad boys, and I didn't think they were gonna be as big as they were, and I was gonna use the whole thing and make 100 milligrams more. But these were bigger chocolates than I was expecting. But I put them on a graham cracker, and then I toasted a marshmallow, as you do, and make a s'more, and then stuck it all together, and oh my god, it was good. It was so good.
And then you have these like snickerdoodle bite things,
Oh
which
yeah.
I'm a little disappointed that they weren't actual snickerdoodle cookies.
I was really hoping they were going to be snickerdoodle cookies. That's why I bought them. I'm like, holy shit, I like snickerdoodles. And then there were these little like snickerdoodle cake things, which were hella dry.
Did it even taste like snickerdoodle?
Not really. Was more akin to like a dry coffee cake
Okay,
than
because
like a
they
snickerdoodle cookie.
I did see they had like a chocolate covered chip that was infused.
That probably
from
would
the
have been
same
better.
company.
I feel like that would have been better.
So I'm just thinking like a chocolate covered Pringle.
Yeah.
Honestly. Oh, how are the Fireball ones?
Those are good.
These are they were made by Curio something, Curio Wellness.
I think so.
But it actually had the Fireball candy Fireball logo on it.
Yeah, and you open it and it smells like the candy.
It took me back to freaking the Boys and Girls Club in like 4th grade, just eating mouthfuls of those.
You pop one of them in your mouth and it doesn't taste like weed at all. It tastes like candy. So good.
I'm scared to try it.
They're good.
You know me and sugar with THC don't mix well.
You just take a half of one.
I'll take a
just
quarter.
like the person who at the counter, he said, "Oh, I took a half one of those the other day. They're really good." I was also telling him what I did with the chocolate. I was like, "I'm gonna make a s'more." He's like, "Dude, that sounds amazing."
I'm a little sad they were out of stock, but I wanted to try Keith brand sodas.
Oh, I was so excited for those.
So we're gonna have to take another trip just one day. Be like, oh, they're in stock. Let's go.
We have to go now.
We have
we can place an online order this time.
Yes, we can. Go through the drive-through.
Exactly.
One of us gets the weed, the other one gets the Roy Rogers.
Sounds like a date.
And then we just walk to like the historical canal area because I still want to do that.
Yes.
But I'm glad we got home when we got home.
Me too. Got the car unpacked at a decent time too.
Came home to smoke some weed. How are so we both got sets of I only have the one you let me borrow. But Grow West has their own pre-roll set, and that's where you got the one with the little match set with the striker inside.
Yeah.
How did you feel about them? We're not going to fully rate them because I might rate one of them next episode if they last.
Mine definitely did not. I was a fan. I like the little case. It's cute. It has Grow West Maryland on the top. It has
Mhm.
their little logo on there. You open it, it's really nice. At first I thought there was like just a little paper thing in the bottom. No, it's metal that holds your little pre-rolls, king size pre-rolls, and they had bamboo tips, which was fucking fantastic. And then I was like, wait, what's this? Why is there this little box, right? And I open
Mhm.
it and there's fucking matches. And I was like, holy shit. And of course, I busted the first one. But I might
Busted it. You full on flung it
I
in half.
flung
You
it in half, snapped it. I had to stomp on it so it didn't like catch the leaves on fire.
Yeah, you struck it so hard. It broke in half, flung across my lap, and went on the other side of me.
I hadn't, in my defense, didn't light a match for like 10 years. Before that, I was very different. There were very different muscles in use 10 years ago. It was very effortless to just go, psst. But it also tastes better. I feel like when you light a joint with a
Yeah,
match.
because you did
I did
match for and lighter.
and lighter, and it was felt cleaner and nicer with like the match. And also, I just love the of the match.
Maybe we should do an episode where we do match versus lighter versus hemp wick.
Yes. I love those joints. I love the little case. I love the pre-rolls. I will say they didn't stay lit, which is why they probably give you extra matches. But I
Mm-hmm.
will say if I used all the matches to relight the joints, you would definitely need more matches.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely like I'm gonna light it once, and maybe I need to have my lighter on me to relight the fucking joint every once in a while. But the first one of those I smoked, I only smoked half of one, and I think it was like 27% or whatever. They're so nice. I would definitely buy it again. I'm going to reuse the case definitely. Super cute little memento too
Mm-hmm.
of our trip.
And like I pre-rolled a lot of joints before the trip because I had thought I was going to be smoking more on the trip, to be honest.
I thought you were too.
And I just wanted to buy the joints because, like, hopefully, review which one I don't use for maybe next episode.
Okay.
Maybe we'll see how they last, or see what else we get, and to review between you and me between them two.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, all in all, it was a really great trip. Is there anything you want to add before the break?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, we'll be back after a quick little ad. Pretty in pink and purely wood pulp derived, Blazy Susan pink rolling papers and cones will add a pop of color to your next smoke sesh. Their classic pink papers are naturally dyed, vegan, GMO free, and food safe. They contain no amounts of heavy metals or pesticides unlike other paper producers. Care about what goes in your lungs with Blazy Susan papers and cones. Use promo code BGSOTC20 at checkout to get 20% off with your friends at Smoking Out the Closet. Plus, get free shipping on orders over $50 in the United States. And we are back. So, on the break, you and me realized you forgot a thing about our Maryland trip. Did you want to bring that up?
Absolutely. How could I forget when I'm wearing this brightly colored shirt that I bought there? So I don't remember how we came across this place, but we were at a gas station, or did we go get food?
I think we were on our way back from getting ice for the cooler, and I just happened to see a billboard on the road.
And it said hippie trading post. And I was like, what is that? And you were like, I was like, you internet phone, here, look it up. Let's see what it is. I don't care.
Make a pit stop.
Make a pit stop. Has to be close, right? There's a billboard for it. It's one of those spur of the moment kind of things. And I'm glad that we went. There was a bunch of cool, had a bunch of local artisans that had handmade natural soaps and body sprays and wax melts, and this shirt was a local artist from there that does the design and the tie-dye themselves. We spent over, I don't know what it was, like $30. I spent over $30 and I got a free vinyl sticker for on my car. This is also free advertising for them. In the back, they have like a head shop. They have glass pieces, like necklaces and bowls and pipes and records and like just fucking everything.
Yeah, it's a hippie themed consignment shop. If you're like the Pittsburgh area, think of it as like the I Made It market, but hippie.
Hippie. Yeah, hippie-fied I Made It market. Like, they have some really cool rings that were like hand wrapped and like with crystals and stuff. And it's just pretty cool. Like the flower and stuff that he was selling it smelled pretty decent. He had nice they were nice dense Pineapple Express he had a really nice color to it. But yeah, it was so freaking cool. And like this shirt, oh my god, this shirt. So I I saw the spaceship on it and I was like, well shit. Aliens, right? Me and aliens. And it has a little dude and it beams up and it says, I am out of here. And the tie-dye is like a blue, a dark blue, light blue, kind of like a lighter green. I would call it like a wave pattern, I guess. I call it like a warp pattern because it kind of looks like the tractor beam-ish of the spaceship, your, stereotypical flying saucer aliens. But yeah, I saw the shirt and I was like, holy shit, I love it. I need it. It's me. And I bought it. And I always buy a shirt on our camping trips. So I was like, because there was a Respect the Locals Bigfoot shirt at our campground that we were at that I wanted. Because, we were in the Appalachians.
But they didn't have your size.
They didn't have my size. No, they were all smalls. And I was like, this was a medium. But I was like, it fits. It fits me actually really nicely.
Imagine that, you get a shirt that's exactly your size and cut, and it fits.
But oh my god, it smelled like patchouli, which actually worked to my advantage this morning when we left, because I couldn't find my deodorant. I was like, well, yeah, you don't need deodorant when you have patchouli, and you were like, and that is why they use it. And I was like, you did, the incense is cheaper than deodorant. Yeah,
No, all as a joke, but actually,
as a joke.
Use deodorant.
No, seriously, yes, you use deodorant. I just misplaced mine. But I put it on the night before, and it's really good, so I didn't need any more. But yeah, it smelled like a head shop most of the day. But yeah, that was my Skittle of the week. The hippie trading post, they're really cool. I grabbed a card for one of the people who did my shirt. They gave me a nice little instruction booklet with it too, and how to wash it and care for it. But yeah, I really like them.
Oh, I'm glad. And it was a nice, real cool shop. I was kind of disassociating the whole time through it, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh.
Yeah. Just different people knew, not sure the area, because, gay, and there's a lot of Trump signs in around the area, so it wasn't like, Also, just real quick, I do want to add, if our audio quality sounds a little different from the first half than the second half, we ended up having to use our, my phone with the Riverside FM app.
I forgot my Surface Charger at work.
And, it happens, but, we persevere, we go through. But if it does sound different, I do want to give a heads up on that for everybody. I'm going to try to keep it from not sounding different, but if it does, fair warning. Again, we're the Lo-Fi podcast. We're fine. We're in this. We're good.
We're good. We're
still good. Is there anything else you want to add from a Maryland trip? Or the heavy trading post?
We didn't really get to talk about the campground, I don't feel like much.
Do you want to talk about the campground more?
Yeah, it was so, like, calm and peaceful. And, like, can we say how close we were to those freaking deer?
Oh, yeah, we didn't bring... Because we did talk about how, like, we were close to people but far away from people at the same time, being able to enjoy it. But we didn't talk about the deer.
We were so close to the wildlife. And I was listening to, like, there were wood thrushes. They were up in the trees that were singing. And then the deer were, like, you could see them out in the trees. And they were, like, you could hear them snorting. And there were some cute little babies. Like, we walked to the bathroom and back. And we saw a little deer, like, in between the trails of, like, where the tents and stuff were. And just, I saw some squirrels and stuff. And there were a couple. Yeah, it was beautiful. I woke up briefly. I want to say it was, like, 3 or 4. I don't know. I really didn't look at my watch much at all. But there was a little lonely whippoorwill who was singing to himself. Other than that, it was so quiet. It got so dark. Like, I tried to walk to the bathroom myself, and I got kind of freaked out. I forgot how dark it fucking gets, like, in the woods and shit. And I used to live in the middle of nowhere, and it gets dark. But yeah, it was just so nice and calm and relaxing, and just nice to, like, connect with nature again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Very grounding, especially high.
Oh, yes. I had all the edibles and a pack of pre-rolls and a vape.
So going to the topics we kind of some of the news stuff I want to bring up, if that's okay. There's some stuff that's going on since between the first episode of the month and this last episode of the month that's actually dropping the beginning of July, technically. So the first thing we want to talk about is the Cannabis Day at the Capitol. Now, these two things that I'm bringing up as topics on the podcast, I actually wrote as newsletters for the company I work for. So it's going to be my little newsletter thing. So, brief kind of synopsis of the Cannabis Day at the Capitol. It was a rally for Democrats only who are pro-cannabis. It was like a Democratic Party. The Democrat. Yeah, I can't talk. Why can't I talk today? This is so frustrating.
It's okay.
The Democrats.
Yes.
Their party.
The Democratic Party.
Thank you.
You're
I don't know why I couldn't say that.
It's okay.
Don't get a brain injury or PTSD. It affects the brain.
Yeah.
But it was an event for them that was pro-cannabis on their side of the aisle. Which kind of sucks because PA does have a lot of bipartisan cannabis support. So I kind of wish we got to see more of that.
Yeah.
But the rally was for social equity and making sure that every law that we're going to try passing for adult use, or once we have adult use, to continue to get a push for social equity for adult use here in Pennsylvania, and hopefully across the country. Notable speakers were Sharon Perry Thomas of the Diasporic Alliance for Cannabis Opportunities, or DACO, who started this actual event, and one of the people who helped start Black Cannabis Week in the Philly area, which I would like us to go to.
Oh, that's cool.
Just give support and kind of just talk about it and spread word about it because I think that's cool.
Absolutely.
Also notable speakers were Emmett Brown, Chris Rabb, who were both representatives in the state, and Senator Sharif Street, who has been working with GOP members to get cannabis legalized in the state. Some of them have brought up the fact that a lot of people are in jail for minor cannabis charges of just having a nug or a dusting of keef get tested, and they ended up in jail. And while we're benefiting it medically and hopefully legally in the state of Pennsylvania, we need to make sure that they're also getting out of jail at the same time. Also, they were, I'm kind of just going off the show, the memory of writing the article. So if I paraphrase anything incorrectly, I do apologize. They are talking about how to get those affected by the war on drugs, especially people of color, that they get first dibs on social equities, on the licensing for small cannabis company businesses, which I would really like to see.
Yes, absolutely.
Because, first and foremost, social equity needs to happen anyway, and it needs to be done right, unlike some other states, in California, New York. But we need it done properly here in PA. We need to look from the other examples where it failed, but we also need to make sure they're protected so we don't have people like Verano or GTI or Cresco or AYR or Terrapin or Prime, whoever, buy up these small social equity licenses and just amass it to their more of millions of dollars of wealth.
Yeah.
We also need to make sure that they don't kind of just push everyone else out either. So we got to make sure that, like, kind of do little antitrust things with the legalization side of adult use bills as part of that social equity as well. Is there anything you want to add to that?
I think that's definitely a good idea. That we do need to make sure that this is a part of our legalization of cannabis in Pennsylvania, because, like you said, yeah, we need to look at where it failed, and we need to make sure that we do better. Because I do believe that's why it's taking so long, is because we're trying to make sure that we do it the best we can out the gate, which is understandable.
And I will say, there's a lot of things that, like, Street has kind of messed up with legalization at, like, home grow stuff or anything.
Yeah.
There's always, like, critiques, but he's trying, and he's trying to come up with a compromise. Same with the other senator on the GOP side. I can't recall his name right now. But it was definitely, it's definitely nice to see these groups of people kind of come up and say, hey, we see you, we hear you, we are for this, but we need to make sure that we're doing it right by everybody.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
I do too.
Now, they didn't go into full details of what social equity would look like full scale. Of course, getting people out of jail and, people of color making sure that they don't get pushed out of social equity and everything. But we didn't really hear beyond that, so I'm very interested to, at least I didn't when I was watching the video, or reading the transcripts more. But I definitely would like to see what continuing on, like, veterans and, like, who else, gets it. Those who were arrested, do they get first dibs? Which statistically, unfortunately, were a lot of people of color. So I would hope they get first dibs, especially the growers, because that would be really dumb for them not to be able to get into cannabis. But, like, what else is there? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, what other rounds are there going to be? Because there's a lot of intersectionality with cannabis, and I would definitely like to see those who are part of that get to be able to use it.
Absolutely, the ones who are affected the most need to be able to have the first access to these sorts of things. It only makes sense.
But nice segue, kind of go into my next topic, just because it fits with that segue I accidentally set up. So the federal government is looking to change, and specifically the House recently passed a vote to ban marijuana testing for recruits as a condition of enlistment.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
they're getting desperate.
Recruitment numbers are low across the board. And a lot of people are saying it's because of the gays. It's because we're allowing gays in pride celebrations in the military. No, it's not. It's because everyone knows the military sucks, and you're going to have to embrace the suck. But, when you go in as an E1, you get, right now, before the pay increase is official that they just passed, which I don't think that fully went through, but I'm going to try not to go on a too full a side tangent. When I was in, as an E1, when I first signed up, my salary was $22K a year. That's below the poverty line.
Yeah.
But you also got to calculate, they pay for your room and board.
Mm-hmm.
And they used to, they paid for your food, they paid for your insurance, they paid for your room, your uniforms, everything. Now you get a uniform stipend, which is barely cost of uniform. You get $100 a month. Prime example, Army just went and changed their dress uniforms back to the pink and greens like they had in World War I. Mm-hmm. They're $1,000 for a full set. Jesus. And you have to get them tailored. So you got to pay for that. You got to go into debt when you move from one station to another, and especially if it's going to be your new permanent duty station. You got to, especially if you have family, you got to go into debt and everything. So you hope you're a higher rank. Mm-hmm. You still don't have to pay for your insurance, but you have to pay for your food now. Which, that might have been a thing since, like, the 70s or 80s. I don't know when that was implemented. But I do remember watching, like, videos of, like, World War I, World War II, the Korean War, like the Chuck Jones videos, the animations I showed you.
Yeah.
About like whether to reenlist or and join the military before a draft may definitely come if it ever did, which was a fear for a lot of kids during the Korean War era. Who were turning 18, they were afraid that they were going to get drafted, like their parents did in the First and Second World War, depending on how old their parents were.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because back then they were showing like, here's what you get paid, but also you don't have to worry about food, you don't have to worry about rent, you don't have to worry about utilities, you don't have to worry about clothes, you don't have to worry about this, and you still keep this much. Versus working in the civilian world, you have to worry about that, and you get just a smidge more. Now here we are, 80 years later, and you got to worry about that, you know?
Yeah.
So that and just toxic leadership, the amount of things that are wrong with the barracks. I'm not even going on a full tangent with that, but like toxic leadership, mold in the barracks. You know, there's a lot of reasons why the military's recruitment numbers are really low. That and nobody really wants to serve a country that doesn't really help them either.
Yeah.
Like, why fight when, you know, you're basically going to get stabbed in the back when you get home?
Yeah.
And all the horror stories with the VA.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I get it. I'm not putting all the blame on the VA. That's just an underfunded mess. But, like, a lot of it's the government, and it's an issue with that.
Yeah.
So why fight? Why serve? I totally get it. That's why the recruitment numbers are low. Not because, you know, gays are in the military and we're able to express ourselves.
Yeah.
Because I'm going a little bit of tangent. But you notice how like all these people are upset that like Pride Month's a thing, but they didn't say anything negative during Asian Pacific Heritage Month or Black History Month.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, yes, good, glad to see this stuff, gays. This is why we're the laughing stock of the world, and our enemies are laughing at us. I wish they brought back Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Yeah, basement dweller noises. But yes, so the military is looking, or the government is looking to stop. Going back into the article, they are looking back to stopping cannabis testing for enlistment. Now, it's not going to stop them from using it. If you pop positive, you can either do a delayed thing where you can retest a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes there's some false positives, which has happened. Or, you know, if you happen to eat something, kill like poppy seeds, in a sense, there are some things that you can ingest that make it pop THC. Weirdly enough, I don't know what it is, but according to the article, there was false positives based on things people ate. But also they give you a chance to like, okay, maybe you were a medical patient, maybe you live in a state where it's okay. You just dropped the mic.
I did. I just dropped the mic. I just fumbled it all across my lap. I'm so sorry.
I'm calling you out on that.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
You probably would have heard it anyway. You heard the. You're gonna play it back and you're gonna edit it, and you're gonna hear.
But they're. I'm leaving it in now too because we talked about it. But they're basically saying, okay, we're gonna retest just in case it's a false positive, and if you do pop positive, we're gonna give you a waiver, and you have to apply for a waiver. Now, it's a lot of like, okay, where are you going for? Are you going for a position where it's going to be really needed? Like, are you going to be a nuclear technician? Are you going to be IT? Are you going to be cybersecurity? Are you going to be a culinary specialist? Like, these are all rates that have bonuses right now in the Navy. Fun fact, because I was looking at that recently. But these are all rates that have bonuses, and some of them are pretty high paying. I'm not gonna lie, like $50,000 sign-on bonus.
Damn.
Yeah. Like, okay, are you going to go for a position that like is really desperately needed by the military right now? Okay. Have you been arrested for cannabis? Have you why are you using it? Are you using it because you have a medical card? Why do you have a medical card? Are you using it because you're in a recreational state and you're of legal age and you tried it? You know, these are all things that these waivers and these applications have to go through and have to kind of figure out why. So there's probably going to be some people who still don't get in because of marijuana, but it's a change. And we don't even know if it's going to pass the Senate. We have no idea. We have no idea whatsoever. But it does not allow people who are in the military to use cannabis. It's not a get-out-of-jail-free card for anybody who's currently serving to use cannabis.
Yeah.
That being said, I think they should just treat it like alcohol and be like, all right, you idiots, we're stationed in California. Just listen. Don't do math. Don't add to the population. Don't subtract to the population. And don't end up in jail.
Yeah. That's a good role, honestly. I feel like, yeah. Why can't we just, other than, because obvious reasons that, we've gone on many tangents about before. Cannabis, yes, cannabis just needs to be treated like alcohol.
You had a topic.
I did have a topic. Ohio has an update. Well, kind of. About their adult use. I've been kind of stalking them recently.
Because, we're neighbors. Like,
it's a 30-minute drive, and I want to know when I can just hop over and buy a 5-pack and come home.
Well, they don't sell combustion either. They don't sell pre-rolls either. They're a non-combustion state as well. But you mean like a 2.83 gram? They got that weird math.
They're gonna go quickly go wreck. They say this is from Mahoney Matters, Mahoning.
Mahoney.
Matters. I don't know. Ohio local. But this was by Megan Henry from Ohio Capital Journal on the 25th. Ohioans will be likely to be able to purchase recreational marijuana sooner than they initially expected. The Division of Cannabis Control recently awarded about 60 dual-use provisional licenses to various medical marijuana dispensaries, cultivators, laboratories, and processors, according to the state's online database. 31 dispensaries, 15 cultivators, 11 processors, and 5 laboratories received licenses. So these dual uses are for medical and for recreational.
Mm-hmm.
However, a dual-use provisional license is not automatically allowed to sell recreational marijuana, according to an email from Jim Crawford, spokesperson for the Division of Cannabis Control. Rather, it acts as a placeholder while the business works to get its certificate of operation by meeting various requirements, including having an inspection and demonstrating the employees to tell the difference between medical and recreational sales. Which I think that's really good that that's in there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I always am afraid that that's going to get absorbed when it becomes recreational.
Yeah. I will say there are some states that have a specific queue line for medical patients only. And they have a special, like how we have to check everyone in with the system. There'll be like express, for like just coming in and buying something, and then like service for like online orders, say for like my store. Mm-hmm. There will be a special queue in that list for medical. So it'll either be they'll like pop up with a number or a thing on their profile, or it would be a specific like medical online order, medical just coming in and shopping, recreational, one way or the other,
Yeah. They also said it's hard to determine when exactly rec is going to be coming to the Ohio. They said there will be no one singular day when sales begin. Crawford said they will be starting to issue licenses, and it will be up to the retailer based on staffing and stock and other considerations as to which they will begin sales, which I thought was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just basically whenever they hand out these licenses, which up to now is they haven't to any of them.
So the moment these licenses go out, if I'm hearing you correctly, the moment these licenses come out, is basically cannabis companies going to be like, okay, do we have the stuff in the way to do it? Yes, cool. Let's do it today.
Mm-hmm.
Just randomly.
These 60 dispensaries and grows and whatever on this list who have their dual licenses will be able then to open up to their recreational once they get their testing and pass all their things. And then the state has to give them, and they say, hey, they'd go, hey, this is your last piece of paper. And then once the dispensary says, yeah, we have enough cannabis, we have enough staff, boom, we're recreational now.
I feel like they're gonna do like a couple other MSOs and pull from nearby states.
Probably.
Because some of my coworkers went all the way to New Jersey to help them out.
My company wants me to go to Ohio, which is also why I've been looking at this very closely.
I mean, if there's one near where your company's gonna send you, I can see if I can get sent over there. Then who's gonna look after our cats?
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, it'll be a good experience, and that's why I've been keeping an eye on this too. Because like, I'm gonna go and have the experience and do the thing and make the monies and have the times and make some connections in the cannabis world, and who knows, maybe I can unionize a couple stores while I'm out there.
Hell yeah, let's spread our podcast out that way too.
Absolutely, get some more listeners. Stick some stickers up somewhere.
Dang it, we didn't talk to Grow West any of them about our podcast.
No, we didn't.
Missed opportunity. All right, get back in the car. Let's go.
We're going right now.
Roy Rogers.
Let's go. For the 4th time this weekend. Still telling you that chicken sandwich had no idea how fucking good. It was so juicy.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add before we close this episode?
I mean, I don't think so. The little sigh was like, come on, Ohio. I thought you were closer. You guys are so close, though.
I mean,
Everybody's getting their inspections and stuff. It was projected
July, wasn't it?
Yeah, middle of July. So they're on track. I honestly, though, this does seem early. This seems like maybe in the beginning of July.
Which is tomorrow.
As recording it is tomorrow. I probably not like the first full week. I'll say the first full week of July.
I give it the second.
Yeah,
I give it the second week of July at the earliest.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Oh yeah, how exciting!
It is very exciting. I'm not excited to buy 2.5 grams.
I'm hoping they change it.
Please do,
because once it's not in a medical program controlled by an actual pharmaceutical board, which is why those numbers are the way they are, I feel like it's going to go back to like the quote unquote street standard.
Yeah. You know what would be really dumb?
Hmm.
If the med stuff came in the pharmaceutical standard and the recreational stuff came in the street standard.
I can see that.
Stupid as fuck.
I can see that. Yeah. It's Ohio. I can see that.
Because, also they could argue, oh, well, this is higher THC, this is higher cannabinoid, this is medical cannabis. Oh, this is this is high THC, low cannabinoids, and not a lot of CBD or any other cannabinoids and terpenes in it. Here we go, this is recreational, let's put it in an 8.
Mm-hmm.
Which...
Dumb.
Don't. Just don't. I mean, yeah, it's Ohio, and they probably could, because, it's dumb and it's Ohio, but please don't. Please just fix it. Just make everything universal.
Well, on that note, I suppose we should wrap up the episode.
Yeah.
Once again, my name is Rayven. I use she, her pronouns.
I'm Asmodeus, and I use they, them pronouns.
And this has been another episode of Smoking Out the Closet. Bye!
Bye-bye.